One of the other concerns that's been raised in the now writer and actor strikes is what is gonna happen with AI. Now, we already know from the point of view of writers, they already believe that the way they're treated by the major studios is horrific. It's way worse than it used to be. The money isn't there, the residuals aren't there. They're not paid for as long of a run as they used to be. And they're worried that in the future, the studios are gonna try to replace them utterly with ChatGPT, which is definitely what the studios would like to do. But it goes beyond just that. The actors are also very worried about this. And part of this came up during the final days of negotiations before this joint strike began. So we have talk of, this is from the studios, by the way, groundbreaking AI proposal that protects actors' digital likeness. So they're saying, we tried to give you so much, we're gonna protect your digital license. So we don't know the entirety of whatever that is that they're referring to, but we do know one component of it, and it is wild. So according to the executive director of SAG-AFTRA, one of their AI proposals was from the studios. They proposed that our background actors should be able to be scanned, get paid for 1 day's pay, maybe $200, $300, $400, and the company should own that scan, their image, their likeness, and be able to use it for the rest of eternity in any project they want with no consent and no compensation. So the idea of being able to be like an extra or a featured extra, one of those like first like rungs on the ladder of becoming an actor, they're going to pay 300 people to scan their likeness. It'll cost them a couple $10,000, and then they will be able to digitally put in extras for the rest of time. Once those extras have died decades from now, they'll still be appearing in the background of scenes. And that's just for the extras. They clearly want to do this more in movies. And sometimes it's okay, sometimes there's consent. Harrison Ford was perfectly happy, I guess, to be de-aged and have his face mapped onto a younger actor for parts of Dial of Destiny. But they would love to replace people with digital likenesses. Eventually, I think it's gonna go way beyond this. Why hire an actor when you can just make an actor from the ground up and put them in different movies, and AI generate their social presence, and AI generate their interviews, and wholly own it as a corporate thing? They should be terrified, the people in the union. Brett, what do you make of it?
I mean, I've met some of the people who are those like perma extras they're just come up there. And here's something that Michael Caine said when he was just waiting around all day to act. He's like, I act for free, you pay me to wait. You pay me to sit in my trailer and wait. And for a lot of these extras, like that is their living. And they are essential, or they wouldn't have to be used. They're trying to find a way to use them without paying them. And it is a very real way of life. And these are people that you would actually recognize. Like I was on set on a commercial with a bunch of them, and they were like, yeah. And they make, in 2010, they were making $115,000 a year just being extras, just being the person who's like in the background going like, looking around and stuff. This is so clearly the worst thing, the worst instincts of Hollywood. And it's just to replace people that they need. And we all know it's better. John aside, think of the difference between, the clone Attack of the Clones and like the actual series. When they tried to replace it with digital actors, fully digital everything, it just is weird. And it will get better and better, but at that point, wouldn't you rather have a human being? Because we're trying to convey human emotion, and cartoon. You'll never get as authentic as the real thing.
Yeah.
And what's sad is, given the direction, and specifically tech and entertainment become one, it's ruining entertainment. Because it's all about scalability, it's all about the industry multiples, it's all about like the proprietary technological products that you create, and then you license those out and you own those. They're trying to apply all those principles to something that is as old as human beings, which is like art and emotion, and trying to capture that. And it is a skill, it is something that, behind me is a digital fire. And there's part of you that on a fundamental level is actually right now feeling like you're by a fire, but it's not a real fire.
It should be. In fact,
television itself is a technological extension of the hearth we all used to gather around, but it's not the real thing. It's just better when it's around a real thing. And I hate to sound like the guy who's like, oh my God, let's turn off electricity and go back to like gas lamps. But you got to know in your heart that it's better to have human beings, and it's just a nicer life to live.
Yeah.
To know that the person who's providing this art that's such a central part of your experience and development is a person who's getting compensated for it.
Exactly. Yeah, I know some people might think that this is just, like this is a grandpa, Grandpa John, Grandpa Brett, Grandpa 160,000 people in SAG-AFTRA who don't want things to change, but we get to decide how much change. Do we want a totally soulless, divorced from reality, like genesis of all of the art that we consume, or are there things that are worth being maintained?
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.